Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the ace that runs the place, one half of the Royal Club Wrestling Podcast. And we are back with another episode. You already know who I got with me, my brother from another mother.
It is either franchise, a.k.a. the podcast Tribal Chief. I am not doing the scissors.
The Royal Club has arrived. It's a fact, dude. You gotta do it.
I think that's
You gotta do it.
It's it, though.
You gotta do it.
That's it. So what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. How are you?
I'm good. Busy. Very busy week. Not just in the world of wrestling, but just
life in general.
We
was just talking about be transitioning back to the iPhone world. What stays better if I had iPhone?
Joining the dark side.
The dark side of the ring, the dark side of the phones, of the phone companies.
Like we were saying, it's kind of like, you left WWE. Mm-hmm. You went on your journey.
Yeah, but you threw your shot in there.
You know I had to.
Yeah. You talk about you can't be petty. You wish you had the level. You petty.
I'm not your level of petty.
It depends. I think it depends on what you would. Like my petty is like, okay, like it's like okay, like mine's like football stuff like that. Your petty is like wrestling and stuff, like maybe basketball, like the Lakers and stuff like that. So it depends on the topic.
I will agree.
Yeah.
Because I have the shirt.
What shirt?
The Draymond Green shirt.
The Draymond. Oh yeah.
I have that shirt.
I see
my
that
cousin,
shirt.
My cousin bought it for me.
Yeah.
But for those that happened to catch the last episode of Royal Club, the solo one that I did, just talking about everything that happened last week, everything that happened with the. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of it being called a scrum?
No, that's the first time I ever heard of being a scrum.
Me too. I always thought it was a press conference.
Yeah, that's what I assumed as well. Yeah,
but the scrum heard round the world. Obviously, if you've been hiding under a rock, how do you not know about what's going on in AEW with CM Punk? And since that episode that I did, I did go live on Instagram Wednesday during Dynamite to discuss.
It was here in the Buff,
which was in Buffalo. We're going to talk about that, but just to get a live reaction, my reaction to what was going to happen with Tony Khan and the announcement that he was going to make, in which he did state that the titles, the AEW title and the Trios title, have been vacated. We also found out that
no interim titles.
No interim.
Thank God. I'm like, thank God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank God for that.
But on Dynamite, they did have a Trios match between the Best Friends and the Dark Triangle, in which the Dark Triangle did successfully win the Trios tag team.
Shout out to my man Pac, 2-time. First ever double champion in AEW history.
First ever double champion in AEW history.
All-Atlantic champion and Trios champion.
Even though, like, the All-Atlantic championship is, like, I don't get it.
I guess they defend it everywhere. It's not just like, I'm just going to defend this in the company. Like, you could just be like, yo, you just go defend this here. But like I said, like AEW wrestlers can go to other promotions and wrestle and have title. Like I think Jon Moxley is like the GCW champion. I believe he was the New Japan United States champion for a while. So he has those titles, you know what I mean? And I think Andrade still has the AAA heavyweight championship or whatever like that. So, well, I guess with Pac with that title, like I said, I've seen he's defended it in different locations, in different, areas and stuff like that. So, and I think it's more so like, like All Atlantic might be like their European title. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like the design of the title. I think the title looks sweet. So, other than that,
I will say, they do have nice designs for
best looking titles in the game.
They do have nice designs for their belts.
Yeah.
But then Tony Khan also announced that there is going to be a tournament of champions that will be culminating on the 21st of September at Grand Slam.
Grand Slam, yeah.
Which is going to be in New York?
Jersey, I believe.
New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. In that area.
Right.
What was that, Tri-State area?
Tri-State, yes.
Yeah.
And we had the tournament take place in Buffalo, Dynamite, and Rampage.
Yeah, it was Guevara
versus Darby. That was on
Moxley
Rampage.
and Jericho were number 1 seed, so they were kind of like
they got the bye.
They got the bye, and then it was Bryan Danielson and Hangman.
Yes.
Which I thought Hangman was fired. I thought Hangman walked out. I thought he walked out, so I was surprised to see he was there.
Yeah. Well, when they announced it, that's when, on live, I was like, oh, so, because on the video I did say that, you heard the rumbles.
Yeah, I heard rumbles that he walked out.
He walked out,
yeah.
But obviously he didn't because he was in the tournament, and unfortunately he didn't win. So a lot of people feel though as if you're going to have the Blackpool Combat in the finals.
Right.
A lot of people feel like you're going to get Bryan Danielson and Moxley.
Yeah, I got Bryan Danielson winning this one. I think like obviously Jon Moxley has been, an MVP of the company since being there. Has been one of the top leaders of the company. But I think Bryan Danielson, he would be a good champion. I don't want to see Sammy Guevara be the champion.
He's not
because I just don't want to see him and Tay Conti. And like it's just not like I don't want to see them two together. I just don't want to see them two.
You don't want to see
that. Too much of that PDA, like all this. I'm like, all right, come on, like it's what I mean. It's cool, but it's just like, all right, like
I think that's why. Like I remember I told you that's one of the things I didn't like about.
Yeah, it's like come on now. It's like
it felt as if for me, it felt as because he had just got out of his relationship with his fiance at the time, and then he jumps out of that and gets right into that relationship with Taya, and they're just PDA all over the place.
Right.
But I mean, I seen a couple of their like YouTube videos, things like that. Like they genuinely are happy together, and I get that, but
you was watching that like this bastard got my woman.
There was a part where she was getting undressed.
Yeah.
But you can only see like Sammy had the camera and Sammy was like, we're gonna get a live reaction of me seeing Taya get naked. And then I guess she got naked and he was just like, damn. And I was like, you son of a bitch. Like that was just me. But yeah, I agree. I don't want to see. I mean, I honestly, after the promo that Moxley cut on Dynamite, I don't see nobody else getting that title but Moxley.
But the only reason I don't think Moxley's not going to win the title is because Moxley was supposed to go on vacation after losing to Punk.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Moxley, he said, I came back because of the situation that happened.
You're right.
So now Moxley's like, well, all right, I could do this, but after this, I'm quite sure he's like, yo, I still want to go on my vacation.
Right.
So I'm quite sure after this, and I think, like I said, he's a 3-time champion now in AEW. Wait a minute, yeah, 3-time champion interim. I guess you can count the interim. 3-time champion. Bryan Danielson hasn't won a title, especially in the Black Combat, Blackpool Combat Club or whatever like that. He's the only one that hasn't won a title. I mean, Wheeler Yuta just lost the pure and ROH Pure Championship. Mm-hmm. So Bryan Danielson is the only one that hasn't won a title yet. And I think as far as like for the I guess I want to say new direction of the company, I think a Bryan Danielson champion wouldn't be a bad look.
Right.
So
okay. I get that. I can get where that's going. But I
mean, Jericho wouldn't be a bad champion either. Like I said, I think all 4 of them could be a champion. But I think Bryan Danielson, to me, I think right now for the time being will make the most sense being champion.
I don't know, man. It's something about Bryan Danielson as champ. It's not that like I can't see him as champ, but it's just like I'm still trying to figure out his character,
right,
per se in AEW. You know, because like
it's not really the Yes movement.
It's
kind of I think it's between like Yes movement heelish. Kind of like his, you know what I mean?
Eco-friendly?
Eco-friendly, yeah. It's kind of in between there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean... But I think he can still pull off the face, be a baby face. He can still pull off the baby face thing. Especially if you got MJF being back. So, you know, he's still owed a title shot.
Now, somebody said, what if MJF... Because, like, now, you would know better than me. Is the chip similar to like Money in the Bank? Where
nah, it's not like a cash in. I think you can't cash in. Whatever. Okay. Like, okay, like if Daniel Bryan won and then he come out, I want my match right now. He probably could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's. I mean, maybe he could do that, but I think like, what's the next? I think the next pay-per-view is Full Gear, I believe.
Yeah.
So I believe like they're gonna save that for Full Gear.
Okay.
I think they're gonna say that for Full Gear.
Because somebody was just saying like they think that was it Busted Open that was talking about it? It might have been it was either Busted Open or JD, and they were talking about it, and they were saying like, what if MJF basically put himself in the finals match and said, okay, here I am, this way he can win the title that way instead of just waiting or whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know, because I think because it's in that tri-state area, that New Jersey, New York area, probably get that roar, that pop or whatever for MJF winning it in kind of like his backyard. I think that's what they were going to do with Grand Slam with Punk and MJF. But speaking of Punk, you haven't spoke about this debacle. This
of a scrum. You know, that's a perfect name. That was a perfect name for that situation, a scrum. That was a scrum. That was a scrum of a thing. I'm like, okay, so I had to try to get my information right, understand the whole history of the beef with CM Punk and like Coca Cabana and all this other stuff like that. So the Coca Cabana thing, we could just ignore that. That's not really like too big of a part of the story.
Right.
I think, you know what I mean? But I just, the scrum, like I said, it wasn't, for CM Punk to do that in front of Tony Khan, in front of the fans, in front of all these people, like it wasn't a professional move from CM Punk. Mm-hmm. CM Punk could have handled that situation a lot better, especially when he said, well, I'm dealing with a bunch of kids. If you're an adult in this situation, you're supposed to deal with it as an adult and not stoop to their level and basically like stoop to their level and do what they, you know, and do what they do or whatever, you know. So, and like I said, he shouldn't have disrespected his boss, Tony Khan. And Tony Khan probably should have said something, you know, but I think Tony Khan was like surprised, like, oh shit, like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Like, he showed clips of his face, like,
well, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck? Like,
he looked, like I said, he looked like he was just a deer in headlight.
Right, so he probably did. He probably didn't know what to do.
But there was new reports that came out that basically states that CM Punk planned this.
So did he plan this? Did he say this to Tony Khan and other people? A lot of
people feel though as if he planned this and Tony Khan knew. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that.
See,
but that's like, because the reason why I'm saying I'm not 100% sure is because, you know, some reports are saying
that's what I'm saying.
That Punk told Tony Khan about it and Tony knew about this, which if that's the case, it's not a good look on Tony Khan because then it's like you knew that he was going to do this, but you probably didn't know to what level he was going to go.
Right.
So Punk might have said, yo, I'm going to call some people out. But Tony Khan didn't know he was going to go straight nuclear on the whole.
That's the case. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's a bad look on Tony Khan, but at the same time, it's a bad look on Tony Khan. But at the same time, Tony Khan's like, you told me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a businessman. I had to make a business decision. I heard what you said, and I approved it. But I didn't know you was going to go that far, so I can't really I made a mistake. So so Tony Khan can say, yeah, I made a mistake. But it's like, yo, yeah, that was on, that might have been on me. But that's the thing with the whole media stuff. Like, I'm like, wrestling media don't have like a concrete reports. Like, this is who, like a resource that it came from that we can be like, oh, that's legit.
Well,
I feel like
everybody feels like Dave Meltzer is kind of like
but it's like, yeah. So it's like this, but like I said, you get all this stuff from all over the place. You don't really know what's real. It's hard to decipher what's real and what's fake with the whole news and the media with the wrestling and stuff like that. So that's kind of like been an issue with me with just watching all this stuff. I'm like, yo, you don't know what's accurate. Yeah, Meltzer is probably one of those guys, but it's like at the same time, it's like I don't, yeah. I still be like, I don't know, because like I said, it's all over the place.
Yeah, and since last week, there has not been an official statement in regards to disciplinary actions. I want to let everybody know that for CM Punk, Ace Steel, and the Elite.
Listen, Ace Steel should get fired. Ace Steel,
did you see Booker T's reaction to this?
Nah.
Hilarious. So the dude, he's on his radio show, his podcast, right?
Yeah.
And he's talking, and the dude's explaining to him what happened. He's like, Ace Steel, he's saying this, and Booker T starts laughing, and he's like, who the hell is Ace Steel? Like, he was like, I've never heard of this man before. Like, I've never heard of him in the wrestling business. Like, who is this guy? And why is he here? Type of thing. And just to see, like, Booker T just laughing about it was just funny because, like, he's explaining it and Booker T just starts laughing.
Right. So, anyway, like I said, like, Ace Steel should get fired. CM Punk should get fired. I think he should get fired. But if he doesn't get fired, I think there has to be special conditions for CM Punk to follow. And if he doesn't follow them, then he should get fired. His contract is terminated. He should get let go.
It's like he's on one last.
He's on
leg.
one last leg. Because I think the reason why Tony Khan hasn't fired him, that's only my opinion. The only reason he hasn't fired him yet is because the possibility of him suing the company for him getting fired. And CM Punk has done that. Punk has done that before. So, and I was thinking about when I was driving on my way down here, I was like, yo, CM Punk look like one of them dudes that like he'll do some shit, he'll get himself in trouble, do something in the company, and then try to make it seem like it's their fault, and then sue the company so he can get money, so he can get his money, whatever like that. You know what I mean? So that's what I kind of look at it like that. And the Young Bucks and the Kenny Omega thing, I'm not really 100% sure because I feel like Kenny Omega didn't really do nothing wrong.
They said out of everybody, they said Kenny Omega was probably the only one that was trying to diffuse the whole situation.
Right. So
he was trying to save poor Larry.
Yeah, he was trying to save the dog. So the Young Bucks, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I do think Tony Khan needs to take away the EVP position away from them and give that to people that's not wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give those to people that's either were wrestlers before or people that, but just people that know the business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of just giving it to guys that pretty much are on your roster that are wrestlers and our talent. And like I said, they get leave. You know what I mean? There's been reports of these guys doing all this other shit like that. So I'm just like, I'd much rather give it to people that I felt like, okay, help me run this business.
Right.
Help me, get the talent situated in the back, all this other stuff like that. Help me do that instead of just having guys that are wrestlers that used to doing things a certain way and just people come in that know how to, like say, run the business.
Well, they claim that Tony Schiavone has gotten some position.
Yeah, he got a role or something, I heard.
But there's no definitive name for his role yet.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you in a sense of like Ace Steel needs to be let go.
Yeah, like who the fuck is Ace Steel? Like I said, who the fuck is Ace Steel? Really, like at the end of the day, he
was his best. He's a best friend of CM Punk.
He's CM Punk's goon. He's a CM Punk crony. You know what I'm saying? And listen, AEW's doing good before Punk, and AEW is going to do good after Punk. You don't need Punk. Punk had his time. He's injured. All this other stuff. You had all this trouble that happened. Just let him go. I understand he was your biggest draw for when he came back. It was a big story when he came back. CM Punk gone for wrestling for 7 years. One of the top names in WWE at one point. A lot of people still wanted to see CM Punk come back. He came back. The summer of Punk was trash. He ain't really do nothing this year. He's a 2-time champion.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time champion. Dude, how many people that's been in AEW aren't a 2-time AEW champion? Or even a 1-time AEW champion. But this dude who came back, they wrestled that much, got 2 titles under his belt. MJF, who I said should have been a champion, ain't got 1. And I had to wait, so he had to face Punk, whatever like that. Like I said, he got stories, he got history with everybody in that company. You could have easily made MJF feud with anybody in that company to win it, for him to be a champion. Yeah,
but I think that they felt though as if like the story, and this is where like I feel though as if what they were trying to do was they were trying to recreate the CM Punk story in WWE with MJF. You know, like make it where he becomes this
the voice of the voiceless or something. Here comes MJF. Yeah, because that's basically what he is.
Yeah, so basically
what he is.
Basically be like, yo, like I'm like they refer to the main core of the AEW as the pillars.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, I'm one of the pillars here. I'm one of the guys that was started here. I'm an AEW original. And you're bringing in like his promo that he cut,
right?
You know,
and then there's like the contract situation, similar to CM Punk. When CM Punk fought John Cena for the title, CM Punk was like, "Well, when I win this title, I'm out. I'm taking this title with me," and all this other stuff like that. It's the same thing. I know you was talking about the whole. You can't come up with no original storyline, but I was like, bruh, I was sitting there watching it. I was like, dude, that's basically what they're doing. I'm not mad at it, but it's like, dude, dude, come on, man.
Be original.
Not even. It's like I said, because I don't even know how you can flip a story.
Right.
I don't know. I really honestly don't know how you can flip that story any differently.
This is
to make it original.
This is how I would say you can flip a story with MJF and the title scene. Let Jericho win the title.
Now I'm talking about if it was him and Punk.
Oh, him and Punk.
But if it was him and Punk, I don't know how you could have made that situation.
Well, you can kind of do it where, like he originally said, like I idolized you. You was one of my heroes,
right?
And he had the picture,
yeah.
And then you could kind of like they had something good with that when they did that.
They should have ended it at that though. Yeah, if that's the case. They should have ended it when CM Punk, when MJF beat him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he beat him once. Then CM Punk got him back. Then I think that you should have had MJF. You had the rubber match. MJF win the rubber match. But all right,
I'm done.
Done with Punk. Took care of that.
But they also played into it with him cutting his promo, his pipe bomb promo.
Yeah,
and then they didn't show it, but you've seen the footage of right as soon as he was done, Punk came out, and the minute he got in the ring. MJF left.
Yeah.
And that was like the big thing. And then, that's when it leads into that. But I think if you did do like MJF winning the title, I would rather see him win the title in a sense against a Jericho.
Moxley. Either Jericho or Moxley.
Right.
Because Moxley, he fought him for the title. He was supposed to, Moxley's finishing move was banned.
Mm-hmm.
From the match, but Moxley used it anyway because he did some like sneaky shit or whatever like that or whatever. And I think him and Jericho had history. Him and Jericho
because he was a part of.
He was part of he was part of their crew, whatever like that. So he had that history. Now I say the one person, if he was still there, that would have been a good storyline. Would have been Cody.
Oh yeah.
It would have been Cody.
Yeah.
Would have been Cody. And one thing, speaking of Cody, you know, I was confused about something.
What?
So with Jericho and Cody feuded for the title.
Mm-hmm.
If Cody lost, Cody couldn't have challenged for the title as long as Jericho was the champion. That was the condition.
Was it the condition? Or was it that he could never compete for the title?
As long as Jericho was the title champion. Because you know, Jericho probably was like, I'm gonna be the champion forever. Like when Bobby Lashley won his title and Drew McIntyre lost. Mm-hmm. And Drew was like, well, Bobby's like, well, if you lose to me again, you can never compete for this title.
Oh, okay. Bobby's
no longer the champion. Bobby's United States champion. Drew McIntyre is like, whatever. He's feuding with whoever. He's feuding with your boy, whatever like that. But Drew can still compete for the title now. Mm-hmm. So why couldn't Cody?
Because at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, Cody wants his first title.
I understand that, and for his father. But I'm just saying, he can't say his first title because he won the NWA title.
He did. But I think
it's just the company. That's who your father was under. You know, the Rhodes family got history in the WWE and all this other shit like that, and blah blah blah.
And no disrespect to NWA, but it doesn't hold that same prestige because when you think about it, the NWA title went to TNA. And it was there for...
Yeah, that joint was bouncing around. That joint was like a whore, man. That title...
I mean, if you really want to be honest...
That title was bouncing around.
NWA went from NWA to WCW. And then they took the WCW... They just transformed it to the Big Gold.
Big Gold.
And then it went to TNA.
Right.
And now it's...
And then we can say Big Gold went to WWE. WWE slutted that title around for a little while. Then they said, all right, we done with this shit. We don't need this no more. We got our own titles.
Yeah. So you did bring up Punk being injured. There's different reports that he got injured during the scuffle with the Elite. And then he possibly got injured during the match against Moxley.
Yes.
They said it apparently was when he took a suicide dive, and that's when he got injured. Okay. That's what they said. Now, I told you that I had a hot take that I was saving for this episode. And it's basically do you think Vince was right about Punk?
Okay, what did Vince say about Punk? Because I know what Triple H said about Punk.
That Vince...
What did Punk say about... Vince say about Punk.
He could not have him be his guy, the face of the company.
Yeah, he right. I mean, it looked like he right. But I felt like if Punk was getting what he wanted... Punk was cool. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think that he would have been good as long as Punk was getting what he wanted.
But to see,
and Punk was kind of, sorry to cut you off, but Punk was kind of like a face.
He became
he was a guy, so
he became a face. But in my opinion, and this is not to take anything away from CM Punk. I know I said that CM Punk is in my top 15, and I had people try to attack me for it. But I feel though as if Punk didn't reach the peak of his success without Paul.
Right.
Because I think if Paul Heyman, if he didn't align himself with Paul Heyman, I don't think we would get...
But that was Paul guy though.
I know, but I'm saying because Paul, there's a lot of Paul Heyman guys in the business, but he only aligned himself with maybe 6, if you want to say Brock, Punk, if you want to say Cesaro, Ryback, Big Show, and was he aligned with Kurt at one point or no?
I'm thinking like guys like RVD.
Well, I'm talking about when they're when he's managing.
Oh, managing. Yeah. Wasn't Curtis Axel part of his crew?
I think so.
Curtis Axel was a Paul Heyman guy.
Oh shit, Curtis Axel.
Yes, he
I'm
was.
talking about Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. I think he had it.
Because when Brock and him was feuding, wasn't
Paul was all over the place. Paul a whore. Paul a whore.
But yeah, I think that like Paul Heyman and Punk linking together was like the best thing to happen to Punk. Because that was, like I said, that was Punk at his peak. That's when Punk had his historic title run.
So are we saying that Punk is like he needs like somebody like a buffer there to kind of like smooth shit over because he's rough around the edges and whatever like that, and you need somebody there to kind of like, you need a Paul Heyman kind of guy. When you see when Punk's by himself and he doesn't really have somebody there to kind of like reel him in, he goes off the rails type shit like that because of his ego or whatever. It's like that.
I do believe that.
So yeah. Oh, what you said about the injury? I said, bro, he stayed injured. I was like, he stayed injured. So it's like, whether he got injured fighting, scuffling after the scrum, or fighting during the match, is the fact that CM Punk is hurt. He's always hurt. Dude, I would just let him go just off of that. You know what I was saying? You know what I was thinking? I said, if he come back, just sit him out. Sit him out.
Everybody was saying that he should have like a part-time contract, like a part-time, like a Brock
His
Lesnar.
damn near contract is part-time. They only wrestle like once a week. So they only wrestle once a week. I mean, they got the dark. They got that shit. Yeah. But I would just sit him out. I don't know how long his contract is. I would sit his ass out.
I agree.
Sit him out. Sit him out. Because his contract, if it's not that long, I'll sit him out. Mm-hmm. If it's not that, if it's like, yo, we got like, because he's gone for what, 8 months?
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. I give him 8. Give him 8. Because I'm like, yo, he older. Yeah. He's injured. You got to sit out. Like, the older you get, you got to sit out longer because your injuries and stuff like that. It's not, like I said, Cody's hurt, but Cody's younger. Mm-hmm. You know, so Cody can get well a lot quicker than CM Punk.
Right.
And then it's just like, if he come back and he get hurt again, then what?
Like,
he gonna get hurt again?
I go back to the last ride. I go back to Stone Cold. I go back to when he said your body develops a callus. And with you not being in the ring and you not taking them bumps all the time, that's going to take a toll on you. Think about Undertaker. Undertaker will consistently be wrestling every year, but it's like once a year. You know, and now that, you know, Punk has not been in the ring for God knows how long, and, you know, he didn't have a promising UFC career.
I'm like, bro, how you give up after one fight? How you give up after one fight, bro? You ain't gonna give it another shot?
He couldn't take a punch.
And then he got injured during that. He got fucked up during that. So it's like, dude, let it go. I'm like, bro, you just, your body ain't built for this, bro. Whatever you do, something else, bro. His name is big enough to do some other shit to make some money. Mm-hmm. But obviously, Tony Khan was like, yo, I'm giving you the bag to come back. I'll come up here. I'm about to give you this bag. Well, what is it, like $8 million or something like that?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
5 to 8 million.
5 to 8 million, bro. Hell yeah, I come back too. But it's like, dude, bro, it's like at some point you got to be like, bro, like, just with Tony Khan, bro, you got to be like, yo, man, I can't. I can't let this shit keep going. I was like, dude, you stay hurt, bro. Mm-hmm. You stay injured. Then it's like, bro, like, I don't care as much as a fan. I don't care how big of a fan I am. You gotta make the right business decision.
Right.
Let him go. It ain't gonna hurt him. It ain't gonna hurt. Like, listen, this is AEW had a career like years, as far as like they said, money wise, they're doing really well this year. So I'm thinking, like, dude, not losing CM Punk ain't gonna damage our company that much. Mm-hmm. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take that. I'd be like, man, take that loss. Get him the fuck up out of there. And I love CM Punk, man.
Listen,
I'm a fan,
bro. I've been driving, and like I'll go through my playlist.
Yeah,
because every year I have they give me like a yearly playlist.
Yeah,
of stuff that I listen to throughout the year, and I'm listening to like what I've been listening to this year, and CM Punk's theme music comes on. And
fire.
I'm like,
fire.
Bro. I'm like, bro, like, it just, I'll be sitting down listening to it. I'm like, dude, Why?
And that was your man in 2K.
Right,
that was your man in WWE 2K. Especially when you got serious. Yo, CM Punk was a bad. Yo, CM Punk was a problem. That ain't the kind of vice grip. It was a rap.
Right.
It was a rap. Come on, the entrance, it's clobbering time. The whole thing. It's just like, see, that's what's so hard with people. Like, that's why I understand. It's like, it's hard to like, not even say not this, like, as a fan to dislike him because it's just like everything about him was like so cool. It was dope. You was like, yo, this.
I was sitting there thinking about it. Like, I was like, damn, dude. Like, I remember like the one wrestling shirt I've always wanted was the CM Punk shirt. I've always wanted the best in the world shirt.
Right.
And then I was like, when he came back and he had the shirt, I was like, all right, bet. And then, you know, they had it on Pro Wrestling Tees, but they didn't have the one with the black band on it. But then they said, oh, we will be dropping them. They will be coming out. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, like when do I pull the trigger to get this shirt? Because I'm like, that's the one shirt that I've always wanted. I wanted that shirt. And then he had another shirt in WWE that I wanted. It was the gray one. It was like when he first turned heel.
What was the gym one? In Punk We Trust?
Yes. And it was like that. And I'm like, those two are the shirts that I've wanted the most. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I will kind of be a hypocrite if I bash this man.
Nah, that's not really a hypocrite. I don't think that's really too bad. That's not too bad. Because it's like at the end of the day, I still want that shirt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, I mean, it's just like, you know, I feel though as if there's always this thing with him. Like, I honestly wish that he just would not be the way he is. It's like he has that old school mentality, which then goes into another conversation. We don't have it on this list, but another conversation about him cutting his promo and going at MJF, saying that Hangman, it doesn't like to listen to advice. He doesn't like to take advice. And Hangman, but he didn't go into what he meant by that. Like, Hangman Page basically said, listen, I like to go through trial and error. I like to go try something out and figure it out myself. Then once it gets to that point where I can't figure it out, then I will go and seek help. And it kind of goes into a deeper conversation about just how, like, the generation after us, how they are. Because you got to think, you know, you look at, like, and this is on a tangent, but you look at the rappers now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy created his whole buzz. He created his music in his room. And now he's looking at all these producers like, I don't need to work with y'all because I did this myself.
Right.
And that's kind of how the way, like, the Young Bucks and the Omegas and the newer generation is looking at the wrestling culture. Like, I've learned how to do all this stuff by myself. I don't need to go to the veterans. I don't need to go to the elder statesmen and things like that. And then I was listening to Bust It Open, and they was talking about the locker room etiquette and things like that, and Bully and them was saying, like, you know, you, like, back in the day, they had Wrestling Court, where, like, Undertaker served as the judge. Like, because he was the locker room leader, if you want to say that.
Right.
And people would come to him and they would discuss whatever grievances and problems they had, and Undertaker will make the rule. And whatever Undertaker said was the law.
Right.
Like, it was it. And I guess Punk has that mentality.
Right.
And kind of wants to implement that in this locker room. And it's like,
but you know what though? Like, yeah, that's just thinking about that, like how the locker room etiquette was. Like I said, the current WWE roster worked hard to change from that to whatever it is now. I mean, yeah, you have locker room leaders, like you have Roman, Seth, like the guys kind of like the seniors that been there. So you have locker room leadership. You have people that I'm sure people that you listen to, whatever like that. But like they have their culture, whatever like that. AEW is. Well, I just think also too with just AEW, a lot of people are like indies. Indie guys. It's a bunch of indie guys. So they got their own opinion. They're like, yo, well, I've been doing this for however long. You can't tell me what to do, this, that, third, and stuff like that. Well, I think, like I said, you had to have Tony Khan or somebody be like, well, first of all, Tony Khan is like, listen, I'm the boss. I write the checks. I pay you. This is how it is. This is how it's gonna be.
Right.
If you don't like it, you can leave. I can leave. Because like I said, like Vince, like I was taking my little shots at AEW. I was taking my shots at y'all. I was like, listen, Vince McMahon would never. WWE would never. Now, I think there's only certain people that Vince would have been like,
Brock.
I don't want you to leave, bro.
Brock.
Like Brock
threw the fucking belt at Vince.
Brock. I think if Taker kind of like, I think if Taker kind of like, yo.
I mean, Taker at one point and this was like the first time we ever seen Undertaker, not Undertaker. He was dressed down. It's that infamous promo that he cut on Raw when he was talking about, I've been here while your darlings left for greater pasture, talking about Nash and Hall and Hogan and all them leaving to go to WCW. He was like, I've been here. And that was like I think that was like probably the first shoot promo that I think WWE ever really did, because Undertaker was really speaking from the heart and speaking the truth. Like, This is, I've done all this. I've been your backbone.
Yeah.
And you're treating me like less than. Right. You know, like you're not giving me the same opportunities, but you're giving all these other people these opportunities. And I'm your workhorse.
See, AEW, WWE had their issues too. They had these problems too.
They did.
So
let's not go down the list of drama that's happened in WWE. I mean, we had the screw job. You know,
a lot of shit.
We had
a lot of shit.
We had Brock. I mean, I just said it. Brock threw the belt. You know, Brock threw the belt at Vince. We can go into when Brock bust Randy open when they fought at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And Jericho and Brock kind of got into it backstage. You know, we hear those rumbles, you know, but I don't think that we've ever but I don't think we've ever seen something to the degree of what Punk did.
Right.
You know, and I
like,
know
all this over Coca Bear.
Yes, and I remember we was talking about that, like when we was texting each other, and like I kept saying, like, you know, I think we both said that, like, we feel bad for Punk, but Punk kind of didn't deserve, like, Punk shouldn't have done this.
Right. He should have handled that, like, with the boys, like, yo, let me talk to you. Let's talk this out. Let's hash this out. I'm a veteran. Like I said, CM Punk's he's older in age, and he's a veteran. And he's been to the WWE, and he's been in the Indies before the WWE. So he's been seasoned. So he should know, like, listen, guys, let's talk this out, whatever like that. But maybe even like I said, but CM Punk is like also human. He probably was like, I'm fucking annoyed with this shit.
But see, and that's where a lot of people were saying, like, he was annoyed because they looked at it as, you know, and I talked about it briefly in the last episode where I was saying, like, how Nick had not the Young Buck, but the reporter that is linked to Colt Cabana, the reporter that kept asking Tony Khan about Colt Cabana and CM Punk, the one that the Young Bucks went to him and told him about the whole Colt Cabana situation, the whole Hangman and Punk and all this. So this is going on. Like, Punk been dealing with this shit for months. And Punk is like, yo, I can only take but so much. And I get it. Like, we all know, you know, your back's, you know, you can only take so much. So many times somebody can just speak down or speak bad about you and all this stuff and go to these reporters. And I would say the one thing that the reporter should have done was reach out to Punk to clarify is this true? You know, I'm hearing this. Can you confirm, is this true or not? And if they did reach out and Punk just never answered, then the reporter should be like, I tried reaching out numerous times, Punk declined.
Right.
This is what is being reported.
But I'm like, dude, it's Colt Cabana. I understand this is a locker room sweetheart. People love him. I'm like he said, like Busted Open said, I think it was Bubba. You not bringing in no money? Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Nobody's coming to see Colt Cabana, bruh. And I understand y'all like it, but it's like, dude, it's business. See, sometimes I think we get our personal feelings get caught up in the way of the business. Mm-hmm. It's a business. Tony Khan, like I said, listen, you know what?
Uh-oh.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
You gotta be, you know who I think is a gangster in your fucking family, Tony Khan? Your daddy. I can look at your daddy, and I think Tony Khan's daddy is a fucking gangster. He look like a gangster. Old, I don't want to offend nobody. I think, what is Muslim?
Middle Eastern.
Just
guy.
Say
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern guy. Probably seen some shit. Probably seen some stuff we ain't never seen before. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Got money. He gotta get gangster. Mm-hmm. You gotta get some of that. You gotta get some cojones.
But
you gotta get some grapefruits.
This goes into a different conversation. Okay, let's
You gotta toughen up. Basically, you gotta toughen up. That's why he don't respect you, because he look at you like you a nerd, like you a fucking nerd. You a little bitch. Franchise feel like he can whoop your ass. When Triple H took over for the WWE, franchise had this attitude like, I will fuck Tony Khan up for Triple H. Matter of fact, not even for Triple H, just cause I don't like you. And he look at you like you soft. And you look, I was watching the Buffalo when he did the thing, he did the announcement about the titles. He looked weird, you look goofy. You know what they do? The weird, goofy looking guys like you in the WWE. You know what they would do with weird looking guys like you, Tony Khan? You just made the list. You just made the list, man. I'm telling you, dude. Get your shit together, bro.
I will say this. Tony Khan reminds me of the spoiled child that got everything given to him. Never really worked a hard day in his life, right? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't know. I remember when they were saying that Conan, I remember Conan, the Disco Inferno on Conan's podcast was saying how Tony Khan was telling him, I said it on the last episode, Tony Khan was telling him like how he would sit at home and be on the computer and there's some website or there's some game where you can book like your wrestling show. And he would just sit there and do it, like book all this and the third. And this goes into like how we both say that him and Triple H are nerds when it comes to the business. Like they love this business. But Triple H, and this is where I say a lot of people, this is why the love for Triple H is so passionate, is because Triple H has been in the ring. He's been through the injuries. He's been there. And Triple H is one that, you know, if you ever watch any of the NXT documentaries or any of the NXT stuff, Triple H at points before would roll his sleeves up and get in the ring, suit and everything, get in the ring and take those and do those hits. Like he'll like go like, all right, this how you gonna take the bump. This how you gonna be in the corner. This how you gonna, you know, react to these moves. And it's like the wrestlers respect that because they're like, he's one of us, you know? And Tony Khan, they don't look at Tony Khan as being one of them because they look at it as, okay, you know, when he was like, I got a lot of money, when he was talking about the whole...
Yeah. And I said, bro, listen, that's what I like about that. The one thing I like about that is how you get gangster talking about this, I got a lot of money. I got a lot of money. You know, I backed Tony Khan up. I said, yo, Tony Khan got that paper. Yeah. I said, Tony Khan got that paper. But you can't get gangster with your competition And number one, get mad at your competition for having a pay-per-view the same weekend as your company, but you supposed to be in competition with these people. Y'all been talking all this shit. Y'all been talking all this shit about the WWE.
And not to cut you off, but does WWE complain when it's WrestleMania week and everybody's doing something that
but
same
it's
time?
It's not as big as WrestleMania though, bro.
No, but I'm just saying
it's not. No. That's not as big as WrestleMania though.
But what I'm saying is that when WrestleMania comes,
everybody has
all the wrestling events has something going on.
But that's not taken away from WrestleMania.
No, it's not.
That's not taken away from WrestleMania.
Nothing was taken away from AEW.
It wasn't taken away from no one wasn't taken away because he sold out. These got the money and everything like that. They good. But I was like, yo, you can't get gangster with that. But then when one of your talent go off the hinges, you sitting there like,
he went Tupac.
You quiet. You can't do that. Cause you know what? But even when you said that, the Triple H thing, you can take we can take a better example. Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman now is not a wrestler, but Paul Heyman is well respected.
Yes,
with the wrestlers. He's well respected in wrestling promotions and all over and stuff like that. Tony Khan could be more of a Paul Heyman, but like I said, Paul Heyman is also too is a G. Paul Heyman a G.
That too, but also Paul Heyman was entrenched. Like Paul Heyman learned the business through Freddie Blassie and American and Dusty Rhodes and Vince McMahon Sr. Like he learned the business through them. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't know how well you said Tony Khan
learned
the business in a different way. Yeah. Tony Khan learned the business in a different way, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you have to carry that attitude. It's like, I'm the boss. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's attitude. Your experience, whatever.
You gotta walk with your nuts.
You gotta walk that walk, man. You gotta let your nuts hang. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like you gotta let them know, like, dude, I'm the fucking boss, though, bro. If I say like that, I got a lot of fucking money. If I'm walking around with attitude,
I'm not taking this shit.
I'm not taking this shit. I got a lot of fucking money. Dog, couldn't nobody, no talent back then tell me shit.
Right.
If that's the case, if I'm loaded like that, bro, I got a lot of fucking money. Sound like Forrest Gump. I got a lot of money tonight. Where you hail from? I am from Mobile, Alabama. Oh shit.
So
so like I said, bro, if you got all that bread, man, you gonna let your nuts hang.
Come on, say that one more time.
What? I got a lot of money tonight. Bubba. I got a lot of money. But I was like, listen, if you got all that, if you walking like that, if you walking with that attitude like that, you should have that same attitude with your peoples.
Right.
That work for you. They work for you. You don't work for them, they work for you. When you let the prisoners run us, and I know a lot of people don't like that terminology, but it's the facts though. If you let the prisoners run to jail, it's gonna be all happy. You gotta have order.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right. So so this is basically, I don't think we're talking about anything else other than AEW.
Is anything going on? Wait, was there anything going on in WWE? You want?
Not really.
Where we at though? Where we at with the time wise?
We are about, I don't know the time wise, but AEW in Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
They were in Buffalo.
I didn't go. I'm sad I didn't go.
I didn't go either. Well, I know I didn't go, clearly.
You could have went.
No, I'm saying they didn't know.
Why you say I didn't go clearly?
Because I went live and I was at home. I was home. I was home stressing. I was like, I need to get this video uploaded.
Oh yeah. See, I'm saying, that's it. Over my head. I'm sorry.
But during AEW at Buffalo, Moxley cut his promo.
MVP of that promotion.
You say MVP, I would say he's the heart and soul of AEW.
Same thing.
Same thing. They also discussed about a meeting prior to the show where Mox,
Bryan,
Jericho, Bryan,
Cesaro.
Cesaro led it
Yeah,
too?
Cesaro was there too.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
all the WWE people. But they said, listen, I said it before. I said it the last pod. I'm going to say it again. Jericho... I tip my hat to Jericho. Because Jericho literally is like... I know we say he's the GOAT. But the way he handles the drama there is like none other. Like during the scrum, when he's sitting there and he's talking,
he got up.
He got up
and went
to Tony and was like, and you could hear, like, you didn't hear him, but you could tell he was like, there's some shit going on. You need to get in the back. Like, you need to wrap it up. Because the kitchen is on fire.
Right.
Take care.
Right.
Like, he was like, hey. But they said that the three of them, now you're saying Cesaro was in there too.
Yeah, I think Cesaro. I believe Cesaro was in there. I know we the media too, so we probably throwing some shit in there. We probably lying about whatever. Well, but
from all I've heard and read, those three, Moxley, Bryan, Jericho, led this meeting.
Yeah.
And
WWE.
Basically.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And they basically just like let it be known, like, this is what we're doing. And you even seen it in a couple, like you seen it in Jericho's promo when Jericho, was cutting his promo. He basically was like, I'm the locker room leader. Like, you could tell that they were taking shots at what was going on. But they're also letting it be known, like, things are slightly going to change here at AEW. And Moxley's promo, like when Taz was like, I got chills. Like, I'm not saying I had chills, but I definitely was like, Moxley's winning over. Yeah. Like, he's definitely showing how he is. And I think, right. And I think honestly, I think Moxley just wants it to be successful just so he can be like, yo, I think he's one of the ones that wants to just one up the WWE. Not in like a bad way, but I think he just wants to be that.
Do you think it's because how he was treated? Because how he was treated, he felt like y'all didn't believe in me, like y'all believe in Seth and Roman. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna compete with y'all, and I'm gonna show y'all that whatever. I'm just gonna show y'all that I'm that dude too. Yes. Like, I was that dude before I left. And how y'all treated me, like, towards it's like I hated it. He was like, I hated my time running. I hated my time there. This and the third. Him and Jericho was kind of like also like in agreement. Like it was like the same atmosphere when them two left, whatever like that. So he was like, yeah. So like I said, now Papa H is in charge. I don't know what's going on, whatever. But I can feel that. I can feel that with Moxley. So man, like I said, Moxley is, like I said, MVP, locker room leader, whatever you want to call it, all former WWE employees lead the charge.
They're leading the charge, and now this goes into like our final piece of this episode, the future of AEW. The reason why I say the future of AEW is because, like you said, the charge of the locker room is being led by,
I got a lot of fucking money.
is led by WWE people, and it's being reported, news started leaking, that the Young Bucks, and I need to learn the terminology for fillers, because that kind of sounds creepy, but they sent out fillers about joining the WWE once their contract is expired in 2024.
2024. So evidently a lot of people from every contract must be up by 2024.
Kenny Omega, during his rehabilitation, sent fillers out to the WWE. Now this goes into, remember when Tony Khan was getting upset because he was hearing that WWE was
contacting
them, but now we're getting the word that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega
EVPs
was sending out these fillers, which by the end of this episode, I'm gonna figure out what the hell a filler is. But
maybe well, I'm gonna throw a gamble out there. Maybe a filler is we want to fill out the company. We want to fill out the atmosphere, what's going on with the company. That's a filler. I want to get an idea of what's going on at the job over there. Like, how's things going on? I figure you ask Cody. Cody there, and I'm quite sure he knows some other people that
AJ Styles. Because AJ Styles said, I guess there was an interview and he was like, I miss working with my best friends, being the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks replied to him, was like, yeah, we miss you too.
Right.
So you could, and this goes to where we was when, first episode of new season, when we were like, hey, I was like, what if it was roles were reversed and it wasn't that the WWE was contacting people? What if AEW, or what if there was certain talent within the WWE, because they are like contracts, like they are like they're contractors, so they can do whatever they want. Like they can go, hey, we want to go over here, and now Triple H is just lifting all these rules, and one of the big rules that he lifted was the WWE talent can speak about AEW. So you're going to probably see tweets from them speaking about AEW.
Right.
So now it's like, is this really something, like what's going to happen? And I think that's the long term. Like what in 2024, that's going to be the move. Like that, all eyes is going to be on 2024, because if you lose the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and they go to WWE, do you think Hangman Page is going to stick around AEW?
When I thought he got fired, or I thought he walked out, I'm thinking like, yo, he about to go to WWE.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but see, I do got a question about this though. Mm-hmm. Do you think with now that Triple H is like, gates open, yo, what's up? You want to? Do you think to a point where it's gonna be like, okay, yo, it's too many people?
I think
I hired too many. I did Tony Khan.
I think what they would do is what they've been doing, where they won't come on the main roster. They'll go through NXT first. I think
like Kenny Omega in the NXT though.
I mean,
2 point with the way you're looking now, I wouldn't have Kenny Omega though. I mean, obviously that's years away,
right?
But I wouldn't have them in NXT though. If it was Black and Gold era, all right.
But don't
now, nah, bro.
Okay, right now, no,
nah, bro.
But we don't know what the future holds for NXT.
But I feel like Kenny Omega is a main roster too.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a main roster.
He's a main roster dude.
But like, I'm just thinking like, what, like, and they could probably just get called right, like get signed right to the main roster. But then that's when like, you have those people. Like, I think honestly, if you did, Sammy Guevara can flourish in NXT. This is me. I think you put him in NXT, he can flourish just for a while and then get his call up there. I know one person who would not go to NXT ever. That's Wardlow. Yeah. No.
These are Wardlow still needs work. He still needs work.
He still needs work.
He still needs work in the ring, but Wardlow is the main roster guy. Right. That's a main roster guy. Right. So now we just talking about AEW just gut all these fucking people.
Well, we're on the future of it, and one of the biggest names that got signed there has got his release requested, Malachi.
They said it was like a partial release. Or
it was released under conditions.
Release under conditions.
Which basically I feel like is
You can't sign a WWE right
a 90-day non-compete clause.
Some shit like that.
You know, like that. I think that's what it is. But also on a more like serious note, like
you're saying his mental health and his injuries and whatnot.
I want him to take care of that, you know, because we don't know if there's anything going on.
But I think he did that. I think he did. Tony Khan did that because he was like, "Yo, bro, I know you trying to fucking go to WWE. You ain't slick, motherfucker. I'm about to hit you with this. I bet 90 days. Let's say it was a 90-day condition. Right. You got 3 months, bro. Your ass ain't gonna know for 3 months,
no,
bro.
I'm saying, I think that.
I think Malachi Black, Aleister Black was trying to make that move. I think Tommy Ed was trying to get.
Well, you also like they said that he concerns about his mental health due to personal life and a demoralization due to the booking and handling of his character. Okay, I'm not gonna say it sounds similar to when he asked for his release in the WWE, but I feel though as if like whatever he has going on, like I tweeted Zelina Vega because I'm like,
me and Zelina Vega are friends on Twitter.
I'm like, I'm okay. Then you need to tweet her and ask her what's up. Like where is she at? You know, because she's not been on TV.
Well, I know Carmella got hurt. Those was supposed to be tag team. They were supposed to be a tag team. Her and Carmella supposed to be a tag team.
But she could still be doing something.
I don't know, bro.
You know, she could still be doing something. She could still be like.
I mean, I wish she was on TV, man. I love her too, man. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You know? Hey, yo, talk about shady, bro. I heard that AEW Tony Khan trademarked the name House of Black. I was like, yo, talk about petty. Talk about petty. I would trademark this name. Nah, bro, you gonna leave me? You gonna leave me, bro? After all I did for you, I done plucked you out of there.
You know what, though? That's not even petty because WWE does that.
Yeah, right.
WWE
but that is petty. But that is petty, though. Like, he trademarked the name The House of Black. Nigga said, like, dude, that was your character, basically, in WWE before you got released. Mm-hmm. So what's the problem?
Yeah. So also there was also reports about supposedly Thunder Rosa had asked for her release.
Yeah. Now D was saying that Thunder Rosa was having. She basically wasn't kind of like getting along with people. Yeah. She kind of was like getting along. She was getting along with some people, and he was saying that she got scared of like one of the girls because one of the girls was gonna beat her up. Nose. Yeah. The girls would go beat her up and all this other stuff like that. So she had a lot of shit going on. So. It's just like, her Britt Baker had issues. Her and Jamie, I think Jamie Hayter.
That's one. Jamie Hayter.
Ruby Soho, she broke Ruby Soho nose. They had issues. So she just basically has a lot of issues in the locker room. She probably doesn't feel safe. So that's why she probably wants to.
I know Ruby got her nose broken now. But that's by Taya. Taya broke her nose.
Taya broke her nose. But basically she got beef with somebody. She got beef with some people in the back. Some people don't like her in the back. So that's why she got like, you know. But I heard she was saying she was hard to work with, so.
Yeah.
But that sounded like a question that franchise put out there. So you be like, she couldn't do WWE.
No, because there was reports that she did ask for her release, and then they I guess somebody had asked her husband on Twitter, and he basically said fuck off. But
then bounce. AEW got enough talent.
Somebody said on Twitter. Was Big Swole right this whole time about Tony Khan and AEW?
She right about the structure. Like, far as like the structure has to be better. Like I said, having EVPs that are currently that's wrestlers, I don't think it was a good idea. I don't know how the rest of the structure is, but like I said, and I know you was like, man, don't say, bruh, it's a new company. It's a new business.
Right.
You don't think WWE in the beginning never had bumps and bruises in the fucking role?
I think they did. I don't think it was to this magnitude.
But we don't know. But we don't know because the internet wasn't around now.
That is
now
true.
The internet is around. Now we getting all this stuff. Now it's just coming out. And AEW had the benefit for a while of not having shit leaked out because it was a new company. Nobody knew what was going on back there like that. Until now, it's like shit is coming out. All this stuff is coming out. Right. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you gotta like give it. Listen. If this shit lasts 10, 20. Listen, if Impact Wrestling can last for 20 years, AEW, especially, I got a lot of fucking money. I'm not taking none of this shit. Then that company should be around for 20-some years.
Okay.
Plus.
Okay.
I got a lot of fucking money. That's a ringtone right there. I got a lot of fucking money. I got a lot of fucking money.
So, I think that's all we have for today. Yeah, that's all we have.
That's all we
today.
got.
So, if you like this video, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure if you haven't subscribed
Especially
already,
if you got a lot of fucking money.
subscribe. Subscribe to the page. And if you haven't been notified, if you get notifications, make sure you hit that bell. I am the franchise, better known as the podcast Tribal Chief. The podcast Tribal Chief, alongside.
This is your boy, the Ace the Rustin Place, a.k.a. the Scissors Maestro, baby.
He has a new one. This is the Royal Club Wrestling Podcast.
We got a lot of fucking money.
We out.